Hello everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Anime Podcast Show. This is episode 17. Let's start with the first segment, and that will be the usual of the show, and that will be what anime shows got into during the COVID pandemic. This series reminded me from Boruto Naruto Next Generation series, sees the next generation of characters that we all knew, but this time it's with the characters of Inuyasha. And the show I am talking about is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Yashahime Princess Half Demon is a sequel to Inuyasha, which itself is based on the original manga series of the same title written and illustrated by Rumiko Takahashi. This follows after the events of Inuyasha, the final act, and everyone's in their peaceful time, and that means that Inuyasha, Kagome, Sango, Moroku, and of course Shishomaru have their own children. And now we're going to see the next generation of kids that we're going to see in Yashahime. And the kids' names are Toa, Setsuna, and Morha. And these three has to battle the base king demon, Kinemaru. The series airs on YTV NNS, the same program where they air the original Inuyasha series back in the day. The anime is produced by Sunrise and became a successful series in the late of 2020. Also, not only they aired it back in the day, they had their own anime manga adaptation based on the anime series. Have they streamed it anywhere else? Of course they did. They had actually licensed by Viz Media. Well, they held the license since the Inuyasha days in the early 2000s. Yashahime streamed on Crunchyroll, Funimation, and Hulu. Including that, they aired the show on Toonami. It's freaking great because people who grew up watching Inuyasha back in the day where they used to air it on Adult Swim, now it's gonna feel nostalgic for fans who grew up watching the show, and even their kids are watching it with their parents. And it's like back in the day, but now we got new fans like me who are new to the series, but now it's still an interesting show. And for over 293 episodes. What was my interest with Inuyasha and Yashahime? Well, this is a true story actually. I've actually predicted about the Yashahime series is going to be releasing in October of 2020. Here's what happened. Back then, I was new to Inuyasha, and at the time, I was very new to it, and I was halfway through the show, and it was around April of 2020, during the early days of the pandemic, so I was on the Reddit page, and someone mentioning about, do you think Inuyasha will make a sequel? And I was like, it will happen. And my friends, they said to me saying, it will not gonna happen. I'm like, why not? And they said, well, it's gonna be like Boruto. I'm like, come on, fam, give them a goddamn chance. And I had an idea saying, let's make a bet. So I said I bet they will announce in 6 months from now if I win. But if I lose, it's not gonna happen. But then, in 3 weeks later, in early May, they finally announced it. And I was surprised that I won the bet. And then here's another thing that was another prediction I kind of made. When they announced at the time, and then I was like, this is going to air on Toonami. And then June of 2021, they announced it. I was like, no way. No, fam. Did they actually saying they're going to air it on Toonami? That's so cool. And that's how it happened. You think it's a BS story? It's not a bullshit story. No, it's not. But still, it's a funny, true story. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Now, let's move on to the next segment, and that will be Topic of the Week. For this one, I want to talk about my favorite top 10 favorite anime storylines. It can be from the seasons or maybe the show itself. But it was a long time coming of thinking about this list, and let's talk about the list, what I got. So, top 10, that would be Beyblade V-Force. This season takes place after the events of the first season, and Tyson is the winner of the WBC, or known as World Beyblade Champions, and leader of the BBA team as the Blade Breakers. They are in their separate ways, but the Blade Breakers encounters a threat. When that season came out, it was a mixed reviews from the fans, and I mean a hardcore Beyblade fans. Even it was noticed in this season that the art style has changed, which was fact mostly close to the manga's style. But they said they looked a bit younger than the first season's counterparts. And lastly, the direction was a downfall for the season, and it was all over the place, and that's why the way they did it in the season. But it was really interesting. But I have to say G Revolution was mostly my favorite, but I have to say V-Force is really more one of my favorites. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Number 9, and that is Digimon Adventure Reboot. First of all, I want to mention this because earlier as the video comes out, it'll be like a couple weeks from now, but as of this recording, it was this weekend, a couple of days ago, that we just got announced that we're about to get an English dub of Digimon Adventure Reboot, and I'm hella excited for it. But it was so sad that the original cast were not going to come back because of some of them retired of anime acting, and also they some of them passed away, and that's pretty sad. And I knew they want to come back, but the studio was like, no, they couldn't. But let's talk about this. So one of my favorite shows growing up, and yes, it got a reboot. Digimon did a reboot, and this series sets in the year of 2020, of where we have social media and experience in real life. And the characters we grew up with, they're living that we are now. For over 67 episodes, longer than the original, because the original was over 54 episodes. But for older fans and newer fans of Digimon, they will have to know the different versions of it, because the one I grew up with is the 90s and the 2000 series. But it's really, really good. It's like nostalgic to us. But for newer fans, the 2021, sorry, the 2001, the 2020 version I meant it's a very different one because social media and now the world changed like it was before. But there are some ups and downs for this one, but a lot of downfall of the reboot one. I have not seen the entirety of it, but also I like to add is that there'll be a bit of nostalgic moments from the previous seasons and even from the movies as well for the reboot. So I bet they're going to do something really interesting with it. And I know the show has already ended like almost a year ago, a couple months ago, but still, it's still nostalgic to me that Digimon is back in shape of the franchise. So that is really awesome. Alright, number 8. I have to talk another particular series I grew up with, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! This one is the most popular series ever, and one of my favorite storylines, I have to say. I think people hardly know or don't know about this one, and it's the Battle City arc. Because we all know about the story itself. It tells about Seto Kaiba hosted a Battle City tournament. The winners is obtained the 3 Egyptian god cards. So Yami Yugi, or as the Pharaoh, has to participate in order to learn more about his past. And he meets his enemy named Merrick Ishtar to obtain the god cards and beat the Pharaoh in the tournament to rule the world. It's still one of my favorites, and until the Battle City finals, it gets a bit freaking crazy. Like, I remember got the DVD of the Enter the Shadow Realm DVD, and I was watching the duel with Merrick versus Yugi duel. It scared the hell out of me because I was still rooting for Yugi to be evil Merrick, but his face kind of scared the hell out of me. In that, I think it was part 3 or part 4. I don't remember, because I think there was 5 parts of the final face-off. But it was an interesting duel to see that in English. But then when I got older, I got to see the Japanese version to see a comparison between the dub version and the sub version. And to tell you the truth though, I really love the Japanese score. I really enjoyed that. So I was saying to myself is, if they dubbed the uncut version years ago, back in 2005, of If the Uncut Didn't Stop, Let It Continue. And us fans, hardcore fans, would listen to the Japanese music to the dub. That'd be very interesting. But I know it's not going to happen, but who knows if they'll make a reboot for Yu-Gi-Oh! But I would love to see that happen. So let's move on to number 7. Number 7, I have to give this to Pokemon Journeys. For this season, instead of going one region at a time, you go to every single region. Want to go from the first season to the 22nd season. Ash has a new plan. He wants to see the world with his partner Pikachu and with their new friends Go and Chloe. They travel to Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Lola, and Gull regions, and meet old friends and seeing Pokemon we saw previously and the new ones we've never seen before. I would say this one is kind of a reboot of Pokemon, but it's not. But I've never get excited like this before since XY began to air on television of the dub version. And I was super hype for this Pokemon Journey series. I remember starting it in Japanese, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I was curious about the dub, like the cast. I was like, it's gonna suck. That's what I thought. But no, they had a little mix of in their plan, because due to the pandemic, now we get like what's called people from LA right now to dub these incredible shows, instead of a couple of people from New York to be a part of it. But now we're gonna mix cast from New York, Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, and oh my gosh, the list goes here from there. And we got so many great people being a part of in the world of Pokemon. Now we're going to do the same thing with Digimon for the reboot, and I'm very excited about. And I'm very like halfway through the show right now for Journeys. And let me say it, the dub cast is extraordinary, absolutely amazing. They did hell a job for this, and I cannot wait what they're gonna do more for the show. Even I'm so hyped for more Journeys. So yeah, that is about Pokemon Journeys for top 7. For number 6, I have to give this to the most recent show that I am currently watching, and that would be Detective Conan / Case Closed. For we're about to be the 30th anniversary in a couple of years from now, but the series is going on from the manga and the anime. It's an incredible show. I just got into it recently, and it's over like 1,000+ episodes, and it's about to be their 25th entry very, very soon. It's super crazy that it's still the most popular show of all time. So many great characters we met since the anime's debut in '96. A couple of spin-offs are coming to adapting into an anime format. Still excited for that. Still don't know if it's going to be the end very soon. I would say is when we're about to be approaching the 30th anniversary of the manga, I bet they'll announce the finale of Detective Conan. And now we're going to see why Shinichi didn't tell Ron that Conan is really Shinichi. So we're going to find out what's going to be happening. What is Black Organization's plan, their future plan, and now I think there's going to be like a big battle going on in the end of the series. That's what I'm thinking for, but I don't know what they're gonna do with it. So I think they're gonna restore Conan's body to Shinichi after taking that pill, and I think that when he comes back, there's gonna be like a big battle going on. So with the FBI, the Tokyo police, the Osaka police, and oh my gosh, even Kogoro Mori's agency, oh my gosh, and even Conan's friends, they're all gonna be like, oh man, this is gonna be a big, huge thing for the Conan series itself. And yeah, like I said, we're about to be in I think this is the 26th year for the anime and the 28th year for the manga. But yeah, I'm super excited what they're going to do with that. But I don't know. We'll see when it comes out in the near future for the show. Ooh, the top 5 list. The top 5 list, y'all. We're here. So, I have to say is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Well, this incredible reboot of Full Metal Brotherhood is actually one of the best, and actually the same studio who worked on the original series back in 2003. If you guys don't know, Bones is the studio. And also they produced My Hero Academia. And also, getting back to hear the original cast in English and Japanese, that is more I can take. Can't say more about this thing, but there was some differences from the original series from the infancy of the first half of 2003's series and the manga, and now when we got to hear the Brotherhood series, very so much dark type series. It's very new, but I still got no words about Full Metal. It's really very interesting show. I have to say about that. Number 4 is, of course, Gundam Wing. All over the Gundam franchise, this one is the most popular one. When it hit internationally, it became the most successful one. Well, thanks to Toonami, they aired it back in the day in the late 90s and the early 2000s, and that will have felt the nostalgic for fans who watched the show. And now, at the moment, I'm going to be very new to Gundam with Gundam Wing, Gundam Seed. I'm super excited for this, and actually, I'll share a photo as you will see on screen that I founded early this year an original Gundam Wing DVD box set. Very surreal of a rare DVD that came from the early 2000s, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch it. I know it's gonna be very good, but it's still one of the best series. And they aired it for over 49 episodes from 1995 to 1996. But still, can't say more about this too. Alright, the top 3 list is, of course, Inuyasha. Well, Inuyasha, what can I say about it? Don't have a favorite arc, but love everything of it. From the TV shows to their feature films. Incredible characters we met, and their journey to find the Shikonju shards. They have to restore it before it falls to the wrong hands of Naraku. It's still one of the best series, including the best English dub we ever gotten. And now for the dub itself, it's about to be their 20th year this coming August, and I'm going to make a video about that anytime soon. Now we got the spin-off of Yashahime, and that's going to be taking the next generation of the characters from the old cast, taking the torch to the new cast. And I absolutely loved it. For number 2, another big show that is currently on the air right now, and I would say is One Piece. And the story is still going on like Detective Conan. Almost 25 years of the manga and anime passed their 20th anniversary, and it's about to be coming to an end very soon. It's going to come to an end in about 2-3 years from now. But for now, let's enjoy with the Straw Hat Pirates. But my favorite arc, damn, it's really hard, but I have to choose. It's still one of my favorites, but I have to say the Fishman Island Saga. Because it's the return of the Straw Hat Pirates. They reunited after 2 long years separated at the Saba archipelago. Now, their journey resumed after it got interrupted from the Marines. In the second half of the story, it's getting crazier after the Fishman Island saga to Dressrosa to the Four Emperor sagas. And last but not least, it has to be Berserk. First of all, I have to mention this because it's almost a year since we lost the creator of Berserk, Kentaro Miura. He written and illustrated the story since the first chapter. It came out on October 1st, 1989, with their first adaptation series in 1997, with the Black Swordsman arc to the Golden Age arc, and became an acclaimed series of all time and best English dub of all time as well. Until the Golden Age arc movies came out in 2012 and 2013. And then the most disgraceful CGI 2016 series with the Conviction arc and Falcon of the Millennium Empire arc. Since then, they haven't made a statement of them coming back to the anime format story. Since they aired the last episode in 2017, a couple of fans want to see Berserk returned, but as a true reboot. But now the creator's passed, there'll be no chance to get Berserk back to the anime line. Well, that is my top 10 list. It can be the arcs or the statements or about these particular shows. Now let's move on to the last segment before closing the episode for the day. The last segment is, of course, the announcements. What's been announced so far throughout of 2022? Let's talk about it. The first one is, we know about these characters. They're pretty similar, like fairy tale characters, but I'm talking about Eden Zero. If you haven't seen it, I'm recommending you to go watch it on Netflix, because it's been announced for a second season is coming. I'm super excited for it and what they're going to do with it, and to see Shiki, Rebecca, Happy, and so many great characters in the show. And it's good. And check it out if you get the chance. Next one is, we are very familiar with the Shoot Hero series. This is just a little update that we had finally got the trailer and the poster to see everyone we know from the show, but still coming this April. The biggest show turned into a feature film called Jujutsu Kaisen. It's been announced that season 2 is coming. And actually, it's going to be out this coming 2023. And mentioning about Jujutsu Kaisen, by the time the video's out, maybe it'll be out sometime in March or something. But the movie, the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's movie, it will hit theaters in your local cinemas this coming March in English and Japanese. Cannot wait to see it. I want to mention this because a little information that we got just recently that I mentioned about Chainsaw Man before. We finally got the release date to set the premiere this coming October. And it's going to be the same month that Bleach the 1,000-Year Blood War is going to be on the air. And the hype train is still going. I'm super excited with this one. Is after the 45-minute finale is that Demon Slayer is coming for a 3rd season and adapting the Swordsmith Village arc. Cannot wait to see it, but I'm already catched up with season 2 already, and I am super excited for it. And it was kind of an announcement around on Valentine's Day that Teizumasa Takagi-san is coming for their feature film. Well, yes, it has been confirmed that the film will be out this coming 2022 in the summer. We all know about this excitement that it just announced recently, but now I'm super excited for it. This coming April, not only Detective Conan movie is coming, the Bride of Halloween, that this will connect to one character, and his name is Toru Amuro, or Burden. If you guys haven't seen The Darkest Nightmare or Zero the Enforcer, Zero the Enforcer movie is one of the best films for Detective Conan, I'm going to say. The films are always been the best for the franchise. And I think for the upcoming film, Bride of Halloween, Police Academy, and the spin-off series coming in Netflix called Zero's Tea Time, I think there's going to be something very connection going on in these three that is coming up. Because there's three sides of Mr. Omuro, but I cannot wait to see the Tea Time TV series this coming April. So that is the announcements that we got so far. I will talk about more in the next episode. So we're about to wrap up this episode and hit that notification bell and subscribe that damn button. And I'm going to share more news with you guys. And thanks for watching. And thanks very much. Stay safe. Stay safe out there. And peace.